First choice is Lacoste. The ad is called The Leap, The Big Leap, and it's essentially a story about a boy and a girl in a restaurant, in a cafe, and it's about the first kiss. The amount of tension it manages to raise is amazing. So basically what happens is you've got boy and girl in a cafe, and the boy clearly wants to kiss her. We see him looking nervous, we see him look down, and when he looks up, he's on a rooftop. There's an amazing little look that she throws, which is sort of slightly ambiguous. You don't know whether she's keen on what's about to happen or not going to be keen. So the story is like wide open. You see him scrambling and he starts to fall. And then she's moving and they're both falling, but now they're both falling in the restaurant. And you see tumblers going over and teacups and plates bouncing on the table, and then they kiss. Everything stands still and it's just focused on them kissing, and then they break up and there's a little look which basically is a little glance which says love, which says the future, and then up pops a caption that says life is a beautiful sport. In theory, when you look at the script cold on paper, it's a bloke taking the plunge, and it's the run up to a kiss. It's quite a literal interpretation of that. So the execution is what makes it, is you feel every moment of the tension, the anticipation, the fear, that little moment of courage, that leap. And then that sort of no man's land, that void that he's in. You've got the slow-mo of the agony of this extended moment. And then you've got the speed, which is kind of what's happening inside. That's the heartbeat, that's the adrenaline. Because it is quite a literal interpretation, taking the plunge. It could be cheesy and it could come across as very average, but because it's in the hands of a master craftsman, you feel every moment of it. Second choice is Southern Comfort. The thing that I love about this ad is, it could be summed up in one word, which is swagger. And if there was another word, it would be courage. The ad reeks of courage. Courage on behalf of the agency and in particular the advertiser, because it breaks every single drinks category convention. The beautiful people are incidental, they're in the background. Our main protagonist is an overweight, balding gentleman with a bad tash who's wearing sort of brown tight trousers, and he's wearing office shoes. He's wearing black slip-on office shoes. The other thing that's amazing about it is the level of detail. The little dog who leaves the sort of cool couple to follow this fella as he walks along the beach, because he's maybe a bit more interesting. You don't know why. And then there is the shoulder dip. The shoulder dip when he passes the three people walking the other way and the girl. What is that? I don't know what it is, but it's brilliant. It is a genuinely amazing execution of a very single-minded idea. There is no real narrative in it. It's a bloke walking along a beach. But what it is saying is probably the best message you could give anybody about anything, which is being authentically you is the coolest thing you could ever be. I gotta be me. And the interpretation of that is incredibly subjective. So the client has not only bought that idea, but bought the interpretation of it, and then resisted the temptation to fiddle with it, to worry about the detail of it. Office shoes, should he be a little bit slimmer? Even down to the pack shot. So the pack shot is the glass beside a very sweaty big belly. You can imagine client reviews where they're going, really, do we have to do that? Could we not have a spritz glass on the bar somewhere? Enormous credit to a client who has held strong to this idea of personal authenticity the whole way through. My third choice is Victoria Bitter, Regulars. The brilliant thing about it is it doesn't start. You join it halfway through, like it's you've switched channels and it's news footage.
And what a day it's been. One word for it, absolutely magnificent. We saw beards you could throw a dart at, zero penetration. We heard from John Coulson, getting your arm in is a lot easier than getting it out, apparently.
The idea of appealing to everybody usually results in something very bland, but they've approached this by celebrating everybody, literally celebrating every dodgy bloke who's ever had a beer in his hand, every type of bar creature you've ever met. And it's fantastic.
Scale breakers, salad dodgers. We were treated to the guys that shut their eyes and go in windmill punching.
The writing's hilarious. So you've got the manscapers, tireless R's with the razor. You've got the people who chucked a sickie to be here. Blokes punching above their weight. It's fantastic and instantly recognisable to anybody who's spent any time with groups of gentlemen.
Those who'd rather eat an off prawn than submit to quiche.
The music, again, it's a march. It's so appropriate. It's literally a procession, a triumphant march. The characters that you see are so identifiable and recognisable. Blokes who peaked at high school.
Paul Pascoe, forgotten but not gone. And Terry, what's his name?
There's a ton of information in front of you. So you've got the voiceover, you've got the banners, and you've got all these little cameo roles. You've got all these lovely little touches, like the blokes who chucked a sickie. All those little moments, you read them. It's so rich, there's so much in it. You get to the pub at the end, and there is this line, is it doesn't matter who you are or what banner you march under. Victoria Bitter, the drinking beer. That's what it's for, Australia. I mean, it's so matter of fact, it's fabulous.
And it all goes to prove it doesn't matter what banner you march under, doesn't matter who you are. VB, the drinking beer. That's what it's for, Australia.
Great writing is hard to do, and there are two key lessons. One is great writing isn't writing dialogue necessarily. Great writing for television is writing a whole scenario which evokes a feeling, and the first two do that fantastically. But when you are going to write, be really, really hard on yourself, because the third ad is an example of a group of people who've really cared and crafted and been insightful. The voiceover on it is really entertaining from beginning to end. 2 minutes long, passes like that. The one thing that all these ads have in common is great writing and craftsmen at their best.
Just like this, I gotta be me. Baby, hit or miss.